Everything's fine on 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Thank you. Today we are going to talk about India's growth story and how we have all been led to believe in the shine and strength of Indian economy. Some 10 years ago, Indians were told that India aspired to become a global superpower. Today, that dreams look shattered. Was it ever a real dream or it is a missold illusion? At present, it seems a different story. A dream of billion Indians now turning into a nightmare. While 67 crore Indians, 670 million Indians were taking a holy dip in the river Ganges, the financial market of the country were taking a wholesome dip of a different kind. It was losing billions every day. But market rise and fall, it should not worry enough to conclude the destiny of India. However, my concerns or worry are more due to fundamentals on which the Indian aspirations rely. Here is a backstory. In 2013, according to our current Prime Minister Mr. Modi, India was supposed to have a smart city 6 times the size of Shanghai and twice the size of Delhi. This city is located east of Ahmedabad, 109 kilometers, and was meant to be the iconic representation of the Gujarat model of development, the very model that was sold to the entire country in 2014. Today, after 11 years, it still takes 2 hours to reach the location from Ahmedabad at a sluggish pace of 50 kilometers an hour. There are hardly any residences, factories, water supplies, road network, highways, or significant investments in the so-called smart city. This stands a vivid picture of broken Indian dreams. You know the name of the city? You would not have heard generally. It's called Dholera. Dholera. That's how it is spelled. Go have a look at the Google where it is located. Similarly, the rest of the country was promised 100 smart cities. My question is, where are they? While this was happening, I came across an opinion column by former head of Niti Aayog, Mr. Amitabh. Niti Aayog is the apex body for Indian planning. This was the very person who once led government planning and was instrumental in selling the dreams to billion Indians. Ironically, he now claims after retirement that Indian cities need a plan. Plan for what? Like Dholera, the Gujarat development model, the entire smart city concept is a ghost, and we Indians are being persuaded to believe in it. If at all the Gujarat model was sold as a benchmark for rest of India, people should ask one question, one parameter to measure: how many international flights land in Gujarat? For perspective, Bengaluru has more international flights than any city in Gujarat put together. This is one of the real measures of development. In fact, you would be surprised that Lufthansa, the German airlines, has the most profitable and most loaded sector between Frankfurt and Bengaluru. That is the development model, not the Dholera. It seems that the chief of Niti Aayog, after retiring from his government post, is now actually seeing the reality. In his column, he states that Indian cities are struggling with poor infrastructure and weak public services. He also points out that they lag far behind global destinations like Bangkok, London, Dubai, and Singapore. Good he didn't mention Shanghai. He further highlights that cities like Mumbai and Bangalore frequently witnesses severe flooding and waterlogging, and it is displacing thousands and disrupting lives. He also notes that 42 towns in India rank among top 50 most polluted cities globally, and that 50% of India's 600 rivers are severely polluted. So what was the Indian government and the Planning Commission, the Niti Aayog, doing for last 11 years? That's the reality. With these facts coming straight from the government's official, it's no surprise that India's fundamentals after those claims of 11 years are not as strong as promised. The expectation of a shining India as a global superpower, Vishwa Guru, is proving to be a myth. And when the myth collapses, People face reality. This is precisely what is happening to the Indian market. In last 6 months, investors have lost approximately 94 lakh crore rupees. Some may argue that stock market is not a true indicator of economic strength. Fine. Last 6 months have seen drastic fall in financial market affecting major companies that define Indian households and happiness. How? Look at Asian Paints and Nerolac. They have dipped over 32%. And why am I pointing out to the paint companies? Because we Indians, if we have surplus income and a positive outlook to life, we invest in painting our homes. Therefore, if any economist, any argument which overlooks this bellwether stock of paint companies, they are playing in the blind. They are not accepting the reality. Moreover, when the household consumer companies like Nestle's, Unilever, Britannia, Colgate and Godrej, they are down by 35% and continue to decline for 21 consecutive months, it's a signal something serious is happening in the households. Not in the stock market, but in the households. Meanwhile, the Indian government continues to provide free ration to 820 million Indians. 82 crore Indians are given free ration. Add to that. Previously, 2 episodes earlier, we discussed the confidence of Indian investors and their expectations from the government. All this put together, the confidence continues to diminish. Hence, there is a sharp contrast between the reality and the growth story. At different times, the media has aggressively promoted India's growth story as if Prime Minister Mr. Modi has a Midas touch, turning everything to gold. And if you remember, this was said specifically for the public sector units of India. Now, the same media is silent on the fact that his Midas touch has failed. Public sector units have lost 25 lakh crores in last 7 months, and that's including LIC, which has a heavy exposure on his friend Adani Group. Media too has a role to play. I can sum it in this few lines. इतिहास में लाल रंग से लिखा जाएगा, अगर देश का मीडिया गद्दार ना होता तो देश का सत्यानाश ना होता. Somebody said that in one of the Facebook posts of Mr. Modi. So back to the economics, the foreign investors seek stability. Who would willingly invest their life savings in a market riddled with uncertainty? Would you as an investor put your savings in the project based out of Chambal or any Naxalite-stricken town? By same reasoning, the SEBI market regulator, if India's SEBI CEO, she is under scrutiny for corruption and conflict of interest and is fighting legal battles, how can we expect the investors to trust the credibility of Indian markets? The same logic is driving away the foreign direct investors from India. Neither are they getting stability or security, nor are they getting returns on their investments. In last 6 months alone, foreign investors have withdrawn 3.34 lakh crores and with 27,000 crores pulled out only in January 2025. But then there are arguments that India's high tax rate, especially the long-term capital gains tax changed in the last budget, that is responsible for the FDIs to withdraw. But then look at the other example. Britain, despite having high taxation, remains one of the world's top investment destination. Even Russia, an adversary of Britain, prefers investing there. Why? Simply because the British market offers unquestionable reliability and credibility. And this key trait of British market is solely lacking in India. But then generally, we Indians are happy because the nation is caught up in the endless festive mode fueled by the religious supremacy of Hindutva. Behind the scene, these very economic concerns are ignored or let's say concealed. Religion has become a marketing event, so it is adding to the happiness, where success is measured by revenue generation. So for example, the UP government claims that 3 lakh crore worth of business took place during the Mahakumbh Mela. Yet, the GST collection report for February does not reflect such a massive turnover. Is anybody asking why there is a mismatch? So back to the festivity and the economics of India. Whether it is industrial growth falling from 11% to 4.5%, the service sector slowing down from 8.3% to 7.4%, manufacturing dropping to one-third from 14% to 4.3%, or real sector witnessing a downturn, India remains in a festive mode. Everybody is happy. Half of the country's population is now supposedly pure from worldly sins because they took the holy dip. Meanwhile, the deep economic wounds of billion Indians remain unhealed. Perhaps this is the same trick the British once used, keeping Indians distracted with celebrations while ruling them for centuries. During the colonial times, there were 60 festival holidays, and that was solely to keep us Indians engaged from the real issues. That is the trick of festival in India. Before the 2024 election, Prime Minister Mr. Modi and his Home Minister openly encouraged investments in Indian markets, claiming that they would rise and rise. Consequently, markets saw an influx of investment, retail investments, I would say, only to crash shortly thereafter. Investors lost money and they continue to lose as we speak. This behavior reminds me of a lesson from our ancient strategist guru, Chanakya. According to him, if the king is a businessman, the people become beggars. Our Prime Minister is making deals, overselling the idea of a bull market, smart cities, and even the Prime Minister is appearing in advertisements of financial products. But the real data and truth remains hidden from the public view. With those facts and figures, my friends, I leave you to think over until we meet next week. Is the Indian Prime Minister playing businessman, becoming risky for Indians, as our Guru Chanakya had said? Stay informed, stay safe. Until we meet next week. Bye for now.